Well, again, I just want to thank you all for joining us on a Sunday afternoon, evening. Uh, and what we've done, we've outlined the project, the Dr. Joel Dudley Senior Legacy Project. We try to make it as clear as we can, but if you have any questions at all, if I'm not covering everything, then we really want you to let us know. But we're just going to take you step by step through it, what we're doing, what we want to do, and how you can be, or a lot of you are already a part of it because we've interviewed a lot of you. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. First of all, like I say, this is kind of an agenda to let you know what we're going to be doing. And it's going to go fairly quickly, probably in about an hour. But we're going to do some little housekeeping. I've got a scripture that I want to share with you. We've got a musical selection. That's who Kim was just talking about. She's going to come on. She's one of the people that we interviewed, and she sang for us. And we thought, it'd be great for her to set the tone for this meeting. Then for some of you, you may not be aware of what is Every Dot Black. So I'll go through that and tell you a little bit about that and how this entire project got started. The agreement that we have with Dr. Dudley on the revenue split, the objectives, who's working on it, the team, where we are now, a podcast and Mr. Dudley's podcast that we've set up, a media release that we've shared, and press release, a media release that we need to share with you, and a press release that we've shared. And then another person that we interviewed, Patricia Brown, out of Greenville, Mississippi, I believe. She had just a powerful statement about it's time for us to think about giving back to Mr. Dudley. And so we just asked her to come on this meeting and just share what she had to share. And then I got a video clip that I think you're going to all enjoy. And then we're going to share with you the budget, our estimated budget that we've come up with this project. And then secondly, or after that, is how you can help. And one of the things we're looking for is celebrity endorsements. And then also our friend, Mr. Lafayette Jones, has the Urban Call. He's the publisher of that, and also has the Urban Call Briefs. We'll tell you how that works into the mix. And then some contacts and links. So that's kind of the agenda. So let's go ahead and proceed. Like I say, the meeting is being recorded. So we just ask if you raise your hand if you'd like to be called on. And please mute yourself unless you have a question or comment. We don't want any background noise while we're going through the meeting. We appreciate that. And when you do have a question or a comment, please just let us know who you are and where you are before you speak, so everyone will know, just who you are when you have your comments or questions. And if you could, just also, we want to keep them brief and to the point to keep the meeting moving along. So the first thing I thought I'd do, I found this scripture. Well, it's just something that Dr. Dudley just says all the time: you will know them by their fruits. And Kim, could you read that for me?
Sure. I'll be reading out of Matthew chapter 7, verse 16 through 18. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? 17 says, even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. Verse 18 tells us a good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit.
And I've heard Dr. Dudley say a number of times, you will know them by their fruit. And if you think of it, we're all his fruit. So I thought that would be an appropriate scripture. And I came ask you to read it because my Zoom controls are covering up my screen. I can't see the whole thing. Is Miss Demery, is she on?
Yes, she is.
Okay, great. And I just want to introduce you to Miss Felicia Demery. We interviewed her just a few days ago. Very impressive, and she sang for us, and we just thought it'd be great. So at this time, I'm just going to let her share a selection with us.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Felicia Demery, and what a privilege and an honor just to actually just render a selection. The song is called Grateful. I think over the years of how God has blessed all of us, I'm sure that we all are grateful. And I thought this would be a nice song. So here it goes. I grateful for the things that you have done. Yes, I'm grateful for the victories we won. I could go on and on and on about your works, because I'm grateful, grateful, so grateful just to praise you, Lord. Flowing from my heart are the issues of my heart is gratefulness, because tragedies are commonplace. All kinds of diseases, people are slipping away. Economy's down, people can't get enough pay. But as for me, all I can say is thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, 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 it could have been me outdoors with no food and no clothes. I'm just alone without a friend. I'm just another number without a tragic end. But you didn't see fit to let none of these things faze me. 'Cause every day of your power, you keep on keeping me. And I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. Yeah, yeah. And I want to say thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me. All right, God bless you.
Well, thank you. Bless you. Thank you so much. Like I said, once we heard her sing for us the other day, about a week or so ago, we just thought it'd be great for her to share a selection for this program today. So what I want to do next is just explain to some that may not be familiar with Every Dot Black. And it's our mission to educate and inspire people to create wealth through entrepreneurship. And we really focus on technology and global networking. And so what we do, it's an association, and we do that in a number of ways. Once people join our group, they're listed on our website, the Every Dot Black website, that we promote their businesses and their events on our social media, on our email blasts. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we provide technical training for them if they need help to use technology in their businesses. And they can have a podcast if they're a member. We also have weekly mastermind meetings patterned after the mastermind meetings that Dr. Dudley's been doing for decades when I attended his meetings several years ago. And then as of May of 2021, we're working towards having our own channel on the Roku network. So I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of Every Dot Black, but I invite you to visit our website, www.every.black, for more detail. But just want to give you an idea of how this came about. And about 5 years ago, I started going to the meetings at Mr. Dudley's house, Dr. Dudley's house. And it really helped me to focus on entrepreneurship, evolving what became Every Dot Black. Well, about 2 years ago, I was there at his house and on a Sunday to speak to the group. And I don't, even though I've seen those tapes and cassettes and everything that he had at his house before, I don't know, it just hit me that we need to preserve these things. And so I actually got some graphics of some like DVDs and beta and 3/4-inch tape down the lower right-hand corner, even reel to reel. He has all of these things in his house and in his barn, all of this media. Some of them, I don't even know what you can play it on anymore. And so what I did, I proposed to Dr. Dudley to maybe let us digitize these recordings, because there are all types of, graduations, speeches, holidays. They even have some recordings of S.B. Fuller, and it's on tape. It's on cassette tapes or VHS, and it's brittle. And that can be, over time, that's not going to last. And some of the VHS tapes were getting molded. And so he agreed. And that's kind of how this whole project started. And that was not quite 2 years ago. Well, then we spent the summer of 2019 cataloging all of the things, trying to figure out, well, what does he have? And I thought we were doing a good job until he said, oh yeah, we got a lot of other things out in the barn in the back. And so what he had in the house was just a fraction. We estimate he's got about 3,000 items that we're trying to preserve. Okay, so that's kind of how this whole project got started. And I say we, I'll come to this, and I'm going to share with our team with us too. And so the agreement that I had with Mr. Dudley, if you think of it, Every Dot Black is providing a service to Mr. Dudley. And the agreement we have, and the reason I'm showing this, I want to be completely transparent. We're dealing with the revenue, so everybody knows what's going on. But the deal is that 55% of the revenue comes in for this project goes to him, and 45% goes to Every Dot Black. And his portion will be used to digitizing the media. And by the way, he owns the media, so he owns the content, he owns the interviews. We don't own it. We're just providing a service of helping to digitize these products and and working with the people to do that work. So that's kind of how what we came up with. And again, the objectives is we just want to digitize everything to preserve it. And the obvious benefits is it just preserves it over time. We can put it in a digital format. When I say digitize, we want to get it on, I put a flash drive up here versus cassette tapes or VHS tapes. They're not going to get damaged over time, and we can easily make duplicates, because you always want to have duplicates of everything anyway. But the bottom line, it'd be a lot easier to work with as digital. It can also, because if it's digital, it can be shared over the internet, like in podcasts or websites. Ultimately, it can be shared in libraries or museums. So basically, we just want to preserve this, gather this information, preserve it. And when I say the content, I'm not kidding. He's got all types of content you can imagine in all forms that they've collected over 50 plus years. And so we're just figuring out how we're going to do all of this. And in all honesty, I really didn't realize how large the project was, but it got bigger and bigger. But it's just so important. We can't say no. The other thing we realized too is not just the media, but also the photographs. He has some wonderful photographs, like of him and Nelson Mandela and the family, and just all types of historical documents, photographs that we also want to preserve. And then the other thing is that the awards he's received. So I actually literally went around the house and took a picture of all the awards one day. And then Robert Melvin told me, oh yeah, we got boxes more someplace in the storage. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I realized this is just a huge task, but that's okay. We're up for it. And then also the other thing is that we thought, well, to raise the money, especially during COVID, we didn't want to be in his house there working on this stuff. So during COVID, we began interviewing the people over Zoom. All of the people that have been associated with Mr. Dudley over the years, and Mrs. Dudley and the company, all of the people that maybe they didn't work for the company, but he's impacted their lives in some way. And the list just kept growing and growing of the number of people that Ella has been giving to us. And so anyway, we started interviewing them, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And then the other objective is to share these materials with the public. So we want to preserve them, we want to record interviews, and we want to share everything with the public, to educate those, to keep the message out there. And so this is the team, and some people have worked in the beginning and not now. Some people are working now and not at the beginning as their schedules allow. But these are the people that have been put in a lot of time on this project over the last year and a half. By the way, none of us have received anything. It's just a labor of love and respect. But cataloging Kenyatta Martin and Candace Graves and myself, and some of these are overlapping because Dr. Beverly, she was also helping with cataloging. Well, she's now one of our interviewers. And so if you've been interviewed by either Dr. Beverly, Alan, Randolph Reed, or Michelle Taylor, and sometimes I jump in and do an interview or two. I think Kim's done a few. Chris Downey has been doing our video editing, and he's done quite a bit. And then we also had some folks helping with scheduling, Catalina and Nellie Lee and Ella and Kim, my sister Kim. And also Nellie's come on recently. She's been a huge help to us just scheduling all these interviews. We're now interviewing 6 people a week, 2 on Tuesdays, 2 on Wednesdays, and 2 on Thursdays. So again, we've scheduled about 120 folks, right, or interviewed about 120 people to date. But the list still grows. And we just started off interviewing 2, and then we were doing 4, and now we're doing 6 a week as we got more people to help out with this project. Like I say, we've cataloged over 300 items. When I mean cataloged, we just went into his house again. This was before COVID, and we just want to see what does he have. So we literally went through the VHS tapes and cassette tapes. We wrote them down or put them down in a database on the computer to see what does he have. We tried to separate the duplicates. Some things were duplicated. Some things were molded a little bit, and so we put those aside, things that were damaged and things that were not. Again, we went around and photographed all the awards. I estimate about 50 awards that I photographed, and even the other photographs. We were taking pictures of those. We want to digitize those. They really should be scanned in. Conducted, like I say, 120 interviews. We edited 18 interviews. So that's one big area that we really need help with, is editing more of this digital, these interviews. We've created a podcast for subscriptions that I'll share the link with you in a bit, but people can go on now and actually subscribe to the podcast so they can hear these interviews. And we've been sharing it on social media, email blasts, and our mastermind meetings. And we also issued a national press release on March 2nd, about a month or so ago, through blackpr.com. So those are the things that we've been doing. Now, we've honed in on putting things on a podcast because of a number of reasons. One, on a podcast, we can put video, we can put audio, we can put images, we can put text, links. So we can put all kinds of content on a podcast. This is a sample podcast. It's not ours, but it's a sample podcast of what people are doing to raise money for whatever the cause may be. Now, Easy Allies, this is actually a podcast for gamers, and they've got about 9,000 patrons. Their subscription rates are, I think, $1, $5, and $7 a month. But the idea is to get a lot of people to donate a little bit, and it adds up on a monthly basis. And so that's one of the ways we're looking to raise money, is to get subscribers to the podcast so they can learn about the stories and then the interviews. They can hear and see the people that have done some really amazing things. And it also allows us to raise the funds that we need to get this project going. And so this is the Joe L. Dudley Senior Legacy Project podcast. And in the red up at the top is the actual address. And by the way, we're gonna be able to share this entire presentation with everyone. We'll email it to you to give you access to it so you can go through it again. But we've got 3 basic membership levels, and the bronze, which is $5 a month. And for bronze, you can see the photos and see the awards. For $10 a month, you can see or hear the interviews as well as see the photos and awards. And actually, this is a suggestion Mr. Jones gave me this morning. I thought it was a great one. The Gold Charter members, the first 100, will make charter members at $25 a month, so they can also hear the speeches of Joe Dudley, as well as the interviews and the photos, and they'll be recognized as charter members of this podcast. And again, the reason that we went with Patreon is that it can display audio, video, images, any kind of digital media we can put on there. We just need to get the word out to get a lot more people subscribing to the podcast. Okay. Now, one thing that we haven't done, but we need to do is, and we just signed up for what's called a DocuSign account today. And what a DocuSign account is a digital signature. It allows us to receive digital signatures for documents. And we're going to be sending everyone that we've interviewed a media release because we want to make sure that the people that have been interviewed, one, gives us permission to use their interviews on social media and to raise money for the Dr. Joel Dudley Senior Legacy Project. And the other, make sure that they realize that there's no pay for the people that are being interviewed. So we just need to make sure that that's clear. And so you'll be receiving this media release. And we would need that as electronic signature, and it'll take you through the steps. We'll take you through the steps. We'll give you some instruction on that, but it's not difficult at all. And probably a lot of people already use some digital signature documents already, but we just really need that in order to be able to post your interviews on the podcast. And this is actually the press release that we sent out on March 2nd through blacknews.com describing the podcast and the legacy project that we're working on. So what we want to do also is share this press release with you so you can share it as well. We just want to get the word out. So you can share it, and it has the link, you know, it's down at the bottom, patreon.com/JoeDudleyCesar. That will take you to the podcast. But we need help getting the word out. So that's one of the things that we're asking everyone to do. Now, again, I mentioned that we had another young lady that we interviewed maybe a month or so ago, Patricia Brown. Is Patricia on the call, Kim?
Yes, she is.
Okay, great. So she just had a few things to share. And Patricia, if you can let everyone know who you are and share your message.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Could everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. It is an honor and a privilege in Jesus' name to speak here today. Behind, beyond, and back behind the chair with Dudley Products. My name is Patricia Brown. I'm the owner of Hair Ears in the Greenville Mall, located in my hometown. Yes.
Patricia, we can't see you. Do you have your camera on? No, we can hear you, but we can't see you.
You know me. Okay. How do I get to the?
You have to turn your video on. Do you see that?
Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay, please continue.
Yes, I'm a licensed. Okay, let me start back over.
Okay.
It is an honor and privilege in Jesus' name to speak here today. Behind, beyond, and back behind the chair, using Dudley products for over 30 years. I am the owner of Hair Ears located in the Greenville Mall in my hometown, Greenville, Mississippi. As I stated, I have used Dudley products for over 30 years in my profession as a hair care specialist. The beauty of Dudley product and what it can do for the hair is wonderful. But the main thing I would like to speak on is also the representative of the Dudley product, the representative that came around to the shop, made you want to be a part of something that was greater than yourself. The representative was always cheerful, always had something positive to say about life that was very inspirational, and also with what the company was doing. So one day I decided that, wait a minute, I want to be a part of this, you know. So I took the initiative to attend the Dudley Leadership in the DCU program. And one thing I noticed, Okay. I'm trying to get it together. I noticed was the leadership and the skills that they had and how they worked. They worked from sun up to sundown. If they had a project, they did it. And that was very impressive to me. You know, they, as my grandma would say, they worked like the ants. And then when I read Mr. Dudley book, Walking by Faith, in his facts book, I learned that Mr. Dudley was a sincere man with a sincere heart. He was an educator, a builder, and a developer. During one of my visits with Mr. Dudley at the leadership, he asked us in one of the meetings, why did Jesus come? We gave him our answer, and he explained to us why did Jesus come. And I would like to read it. Dr. Dudley explained, Jesus came because no man was meant to be a slave, and a man was meant to be free. Dr. Dudley explained to us, just as the word of Jesus stated, Jesus came to set captives free. This is just like the ants, as the word stated in Proverbs 6, verse 6 through 8. Go to the ants, you sluggish, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, it has no overseer, no ruler. Yet it stores its provision in summer and gathers the food for the harvest. This is what the Dudley family and this company has taught us how to store, how to gather, and more specific, they have taught us how to build. Dr. Joel Dudley has proven to us that he cares about the cosmetologists in the hair care industry. It is time for us to give back to Dr. Dudley and partner with the Dudley product to rebuild a strong Dudley economic structure in the 21st century. We have the Dudley Leadership Institute, DCU, Dudley Diamond, and ProLink. And now we can add you, ever so black, to the as well, because all of this is under the umbrella and of the Dudley and preserving and giving here, giving now while they, Mr. Dudley is still alive and could see that what he taught us and trained us, we can still use it into the 21st century and beyond, because it's what Jesus said and what Jesus wants us to have. And Mr. Dudley still preached that until this day. He believed in that. He got it from Mr. Fuller, and it's just, if you be around, you will feel it. You will know it. It's I cannot explain it. Just a feeling that you get, and you know that it's spiritual when you're there. You can feel the energy from the people that care. So like I said, Dudley product means a lot to the hair care industry, more than we could realize, and Mr. Dudley as well. So me, myself, would love to be a part of something that's greater than myself and to be able to give back. So it was an honor, as I say, to say this and to speak this. It might not came out the way I wanted it to, but it's from the heart. I have learned a lot behind, beyond, and back behind the chair with Dudley product. It was all because of my learning and my training from them that I was able to do this at my age, to take this challenge and to not to be afraid. So that's my take on Dudley, Mr. Dr. Joe Dudley and the Dudley product and family and the extended family of Dudley product.
Well, thank you so much. Like I said, are you getting an echo? Okay. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the program and just sharing, because we were moved when we heard your interview and your belief in giving back. So we just want to thank you again for coming on and sharing that with everyone. I'm going to share another part of another interview. And these are the things that we've been recording. I want to share something else here. This is part of an interview that we did, and I think you'll all recognize it.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul, in the fail clutch of circumstance, I have not withered, winked, not cried aloud. My head is bloody, but still unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, move, but the harder of the shape. And yet, the minister these years found, and she'll find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am Invictus, William Ernest Henley, 1875, Philadelphia. That was written in 1875 by Ernest Henley. And it is one of the most famous poems. And I decided that I'm going to learn it. And it took me a whole month to memorize it. But I have memorized it. And now, every night, right now, even now, I go to bed at night. It's the last thing I say when I tell Miss Rose that I'll see you in the morning. And I'll see you in the morning. And that's what I tell her.
Yeah. Again, like I said, we just wanted to show you the types of things that we've been recording. What we put together an estimated budget of what it's going to cost to really do this right. When I say right, if we had all the bells and whistles to really do it right. And they estimated about $620,000. Now, my experience, every time you make a budget, usually it's a whole lot more. So I just say round it up to about $1 million to really do it right. And what we're looking to do is get the computers we need, the editors we need, the software, the interviewers, because everyone's been doing that, like say, on their own at this point without pay. But we want to be able to pay these people who's putting in all this time to do this legacy project. So that's what we're looking at as far as budget-wise. Now, one of the things, I told my sister Kim, said, I don't want to be coming to people with hat in hand, but there are a lot of things that we can all do to help this project along. One is you can record a video endorsement, encouraging people in your network to be a part of this project. Another thing is we want to get some celebrity endorsements. We want to get the Tyler Perrys, the Barack Obamas. Now, they're not in my phone book, but they might be in yours. And so we just want to get some celebrity endorsements that you know to help us get the word out about this project, to get people to be subscribers. I'd like to get 10,000. If we can get 10,000 subscribers, then within a year, we'd have $1 million. So we just want the help of getting the word out. We want to be introduced to your network. What I mean by that is, hopefully you will let me talk to your people, or us, myself or Kim or some of our team, talk to your people to share this presentation with them, to let them know about the importance of what we're trying to do, documenting this legacy. And so because we all have our own networks, and we're just asking, let us speak with your networks as well. We're asking you to share this on your mailing list. We've been sharing it on ours, but it would go out 100-fold, times fold, if we could also share it on all of our mailing lists. And also we want to share the press release, and we'll be glad to share that with you, the one we've submitted, in your publications, in your newsletters. We're trying to magnify the message to get the word out to everyone. So those are some things that you can do. We also maybe have media outlets. I know Sam Tate is on the line with radio. We want to be able to access all of the media that all of you have to get the word out. We wanted to share it on your social media. We want to subscribe, want you to subscribe to the podcast. And I'm asking each one of us to get 100 others to subscribe. So we can get 100 people to subscribe, and each one of us get 100. Then we can do this, get the numbers up to make the money that we need to document the legacy. And you can go to patreon.com/JoeDudleySR to subscribe. And we're going to be sending you these links as well. Or if you want, you can just make a straight out donation. And that's fine as well. Now, I want to be clear about one thing also. The money that's collected does not go to Every Black. It goes to Dr. Joel Dudley Sr. He's hired us, if you think of it, he's hired us as a service to get this project going. So I don't want to accept the money. I want it to be clear cut. All funds will be received by him, and then he will pay us for the services that we've rendered to manage and get this project going. So I just wanted to be clear about that. That Every Black is not soliciting funds for Every Black. We're soliciting funds on behalf of Joe Dudley, who has hired us to conduct this project. And when I say celebrity endorsements, these are just some names we'd love to. Now, some of them I know are in your like say your Rolodex or your phone contacts, and some of them, I dated myself, let's say Rolodex, didn't I? And some of them may not. But I don't know who you know, but we want to get some major endorsements for this project. Whether it's the Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, I've got some named Kathy Hughes. I think we were just talking about her earlier. Les Brown, the billionaire Michael B. Roberts, Dr. George Fraser, Lisa Nichols, Shirley Caesar, Jackie Mayfield, Oprah Winfrey, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who actually spoke at Mr. Dudley's birthday party several years ago. T.D. Jakes, Tyler Perry. Some of you know these people. So we're asking you to reach out to them and ask them if they would endorse this project. It can be just a simple turn on their phone and make a quick 30-second video to endorse the Dr. Joel Dudley Senior Legacy Project that we can use. Okay. And one of the things that Mr. Jones has offered is he's the publisher of the Urban Call. He's offered to create a digital version of the Urban Call about this project. So this is not the actual document. I just drew up a little draft to get an idea of what it might look like. But he's agreed to do this for us to get the word out, a publication. Now I know a lot of you have your own publications, your own newsletters, right? So again, we want to make use of all of the media that we have to get this word out. And he's also, now this is an actual, came out in March of 2021, listing the Dudley family and talking about this project. So that's also through Mr. Jones. He's the author of the Urban Call Briefs column in OTC Beauty Magazine. So he's already, that is out already. So those are the types of things, the more we can get out there, the more people know about it, the more people subscribe, the more funds we can raise to really do this project right. And that's about it. So I'm going to open up for questions. I also want to leave the contact links I'll leave this up so that you'll know how to reach us. My number, a lot of you have spoken with my sister Kim and Nellie now, so you can reach them as well with their email addresses and subscribe to the podcast, or if you just want to make donations. So I know you probably have some questions. Now, the other thing I just want to mention too is that we want to make this as easy as we can for you, so we can provide you with the press releases, or any, we can provide you with any documents you might need. We want to make it as easy for you as possible. We want to have you create links on your websites to this podcast as well. So I'm going to stop there and just open it up for questions. Or comments, or thoughts.
Hi, Mr. Davis, Lafayette Jones. How are you?
Good, good.
Well, we don't have a comment, we have a commitment. And we've essentially said in the chat that, first of all, we support what you're doing, and we support greatly the Dudley Family Legacy Project. And for us, it's more than just a conversation. We want to walk the talk. And in the chat, we've said what we're willing to do, like right now. It's not a big deal, but we reach 50,000 followers, readers, however you might contact list them every month. And we're willing to put our full force marketing behind. We're professional marketers, so we have a little bit of idea of what we're supposed to do or what we are capable of doing, because we've done it for the last 40 plus years. We also want to be the first charter member of 100. Please mark our name number 1 on that list.
You got it.
Okay, so we like to have that distinction. And we also we are $150 a month members of Every Dot Black. So for us, it's not just a conversation. We got to put our money where our mouth is. And also, as Mr. Davies said, if each one of us just whatever we can do, might not be money, might be contacts, whatever you can do, we can lift this well. We've seen this work before in many cases, but now it's our turn to come together and make this happen. So I want to thank Mr. Davies and Ms. Smith and all the people who've been doing all this work, because I was riding with Mr. Dudley from Atlanta to back to Greensboro, and he was telling me in the middle of a rainstorm how much material that he had, and Mr. Davis has collectively done that in terms of doing something about it. So that's what we have to say.
Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
This is Sam Tate. We'd like to throw Gospel Gems, our nationally and internationally syndicated gospel radio show, in the hat. Also, do you have any, could you come up with some 30 and 60-second radio spots?
Sure can.
Okay.
Sure can. Yeah, we've got some, but we need to, we'll update it and we'd be glad to get it to you.
Yeah, I don't know if the audience remembers the legendary Joe Simon, you know, the choking kind and all. Joe, and we've been friends for a long time anyway. He is now, after more than 30 years in the ministry, Bishop Joe Simon, but I'm sure we can get an endorsement from him.
That would be great.
What we're trying to do is get this snowball rolling down the hill and gathering speed. So Brother Sam is in, my company's in. Mr. Davis, let me help here a little bit and ask, are there other people who, of the number of people on this call, willing to step up to the plate and say what one thing they can do?
Jimmy.
Yes, this is Jack. Yes, Jackie.
This is Jackie Go inside of Fayetteville, North Carolina. What about churches? I know that a lot of them might be kind of struggling, but maybe down the road, asking, speaking with churches to see if they'd be interested in making some sort of a donation or endorsement.
We'll be glad to speak with anyone. And that's where we need your help, not just you, Jack, but everyone's help. We would like to speak to your church, whoever your church, approach your pastor, are you in other organizations, your fraternity, sorority, or civic organizations? We're just asking to open up those networks to us about this project, because what we're trying to do is share this message, continuing to share the message about entrepreneurship, self-reliance. And that's why we brought Patricia Brown on, because it's impacted her life so greatly. But she's not the only one. We keep hearing the same story over and over and over every week. And so we just realized we've got to get this message out, but we need your help. We need the help, the collective help of everyone, even if it's just subscribing to the podcast.
This is what Mr. Davies is saying. We can come up with a lot of good ideas of how we should do this or that. What he's actually saying and being very polite about it, gang, is what are you going to commit? Can you commit one thing today that's going to move this ball down the hill, up the hill, however you went? Look at it. So we're very interested in ideas, because ideas make things work. But what we need first, before the big ideas, we're not poo-pooing those, is what can your group, your company, you do to help move us ahead? That's the question on the table. I know Mickey Wright, she's just sitting back there waiting to do something. Go ahead, Mickey, tell us what you're going to do.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for putting this all together, Mr. Davies. And thanks, Lafayette. I appreciate it. I'm with beautysuperstars.com. I've been, more than 3 decades in the beauty industry, and definitely am a huge Mr. Dudley fan and the Dudley organization. And I actually got to interview him on my Beauty Superstars Talk podcast. So it was really quite an honor. And I know a lot of people in the industry from my aspects of the industry. So I definitely have a lot of people that I can reach out to. Some of them are what you would call celebrity stylists and celebrity makeup artists, and have, one-on-one connections with a lot of influential people. And so that definitely is something that I will do, as well as reaching out to my network as well.
Okay. And again, we'd love to have you all reach out to your networks, but if you need us to be a part of that with you, then let us know, because then we can share the details of the project with the people that you're associated with.
Great.
So yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to expand our reach and get the word out. So thank you, Mickey.
Okay, thank you.
If nothing else, if anyone can afford $10 a month, at least do that. We're asking you at least do that. But we want to spread the word. So like Mr. Jones says, anyone else like to say what little thing can you do, or big thing?
Hi, Mr. Davies. This is Shelley Skeen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
How are you? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shelley Skeen. I am currently in the Public Relations and Communications Department for Robert J. Brown. Most of you know him as Bob Brown, right here in North Carolina. It's my pleasure to be with you all this afternoon. I am, for some of you who may still actually frequent Joe Dudley Jr.'s Eagles piece on Sunday, that is my twin sister, Kelly Johnson, who assists me. So you're not seeing double. I am the twin to Kelly. And I hear that you all talk about me every now and again and giggle about that. So I'm her, I'm the other half. With that, it has been my pleasure to hear from Kim, your sister. And of course, it was in light of getting Dr. Brown reserved. With that, I spoke to her, and hence I'm here today, about the funding and trying to help spread this word. What I can do is, number one, check off 3 of the names from that list as far as the celebrities. Stedman Graham calls our office daily and talks to Dr. Brown.
Oh, super.
Sometimes about nothing but golf, but he calls every single day. Oprah, not so much, but we do have direct access, so you can check that name off. Bishop T.D. Jakes, the publisher for Dr. Brown's book that came out 2 years ago, the publisher at Random House attends there at Dr. Jakes's church. And she, in her marketing strategies, had him on I think the leadership piece that he does real huge, the leadership he does annually.
Okay.
So I can call her and get in touch directly with Bishop Jakes. I do have other friends who are members there, but I'd rather go through her. She's in leadership there. Also, Les Brown, our senior communications person, was these were prior years, his interim CEO when he was first diagnosed with cancer, Mr. William Holloway. He has moved from Miami. He is currently here residing now in Greensboro, North Carolina. And William works with us not just at the college locally, his full-time, but he is with us on board at Mr. Brown's office. So we've got direct connect to Les Brown. So if you check those names off, and I'll take care of the rest of Dr. Brown's roster. And you all know the weight of that roster, right?
Yes, we do. We know how powerful that is.
Right, Mr. Jones. So let me take care of that roster for you. That's with ease. What I do want to step into going forward to the next thing on your list, sir, is bringing to you who I am personally. I am previously into what you all might know as venture capital, right? Funding and investments. But I found that my reputation has preceded me on the nonprofit side of things. And we do what I call a startup stand-up. That is what I do, and that's what I'm known for. But what this looks like to me is exactly what my heart does. And it is to find foundation philanthropy funds. Costs nobody anything except a little bit of monitoring. And I monitor grants still to this day, whether I want to or not, it finds me. And so I will, and have been going through since 3:30 today to prepare for this call, going through list of philanthropy locals here in North Carolina. It's a list of 40. I have the entire list of 40 to 50 foundations. And with that, I will continue to exhaust it. I stopped at about 15 as the 2 hours passed me on. I did share with Kim that I'd bring that to your table.
Right, she mentioned it.
Yes, so I will have that for you as I continue to press through. I've already found 3 that absolutely meet this cause. We do have direct access to Earl Imes. Earl Imes, of course, as you all know, is our PBS Connect there and curator of African American art. Mr. Imes calls the office every day. With that, I will take care of him because he's curating and doing the same thing. And in closing, he's doing the same work for Mr. Brown himself. And I'm excited about having his project be the next project that brings support and solicitation and visibility to every Black, because it'll take a load off my shoulders as well. So I'm looking for collaboration for you all to do that, but also to help you. And so I want to be able to lift the load. If any of that will assist you, just know that that's what I'll be working on for you. Okay. Thank you all so much for your attention.
Those are all, that's a huge, I guess, offer. You know, we appreciate it greatly. And you mentioned also that Mr. Brown is working on his legacy, or the legacy of that. We realized too that even though we started working on Dr. Joel Dudley Senior Legacy Project, that's just number one of many that are out there that need the same thing, to be recorded, to be documented, and to be shared.
And I found the same thing as I too was working, on the projects here locally as we employed High Point University students, the scanning and so forth. And with that, other local, as we're dealing with some Washington Street here in High Point history through our local historian, Miss Phyllis Bridges, and her quest to move through a cultural center, I have found so much of our history is just being removed and not being preserved. And so I do this every day. I'm willing to assist and come alongside of you and Kim and do what I can.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Shelley.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to comment? Or?
Yes, Jimmy.
Yes.
This is Don Green.
Yes, Mr. Green, how are you?
I'm good. Just a quick comment. I've been listening to it. It's very interesting. But does anybody know Dr. Dennis Kimbrough? As you know, I'm with the Napoleon Hill Foundation for 20 years. I did a book the foundation did with Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. It's called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. It's what someone mentioned, Random House. It has sold 600,000 copies. Dr. Kimbrough teaches journalism at Clark University, I believe. I did a book with him a few years ago called Wealth Choices. It's done pretty well. We've been talking recently about doing a 30th anniversary edition and of that Think and Grow Rich book. I said it sold 600,000 copies. Now, there's not a lot of books out there that sell 600,000 copies. And it's reached an awful lot of people. And I participated I'm on the board of the University of Virginia, and I participated in Black History Month with Dr. Kimbrough, the University of Virginia in Wise, where we're located, where Dr. Joe Dudley came and spoke one time for me. But we participated in it. In fact, as students, I personally bought books for the kids on campus. I just got a call and asked me would I help out, and I don't even know how many hundreds to give. I know how much it costs, but I personally bought them. And it was Martin Luther King's book, Where Do We Go From Here? They republished it. And I'll be honest with you, I had not read it, but I read it and was enjoyed it very much. It's a new issue with an introduction by Coretta. But someone should reach out to Dr. Kimbrough. I said he's a professor of journalism at Clark University. He knows an awful lot of people. And there's an awful lot of good names out there, like John Hope Bryant, that runs a Hope Foundation, that has a lot of influence. But someone would probably be beneficial to speak to Dr. Dennis Kimbrough and ask him to help participate in this a very worthwhile project for our friend, Dr. Dudley.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're looking for anyone that has a connection for some of these people like John Hope Bryan and
Let's
Dr.
just talk
Dennis.
about this one. I can help with what the gentleman asked about. We can call on the telephone together.
Okay.
I just want to put some wheels on that.
Right.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Mr. Green. Anyone else? That
just say it's Lafayette Jones again. I can just say on the things that folks have committed already. I mean, if you stack those on top of one on top of the other, that's a real tall building, Mr. Davies.
I know.
This Shelley Keene, just really, if you step back from it, gave you the basis of a 501c6 or 3, which is an IRS regulation that would give you some ability to take in money. The environment is right if you've got the right product to ask, ASAK, but you got to ask big ask. And so that she has given you, before we exploit those, we need to have a mechanism to be able to bring those funds in. The recommendation from, not recommendation, but Mickey Wright stepping up to the plate. She knows all of them on a first name basis. We're talking about celebrity stylists and a whole group of people. I mean, we've been following around Mr. Dudley for years. And so that's a big deal. And the gentleman named Mr. Green, he just laid out the Kimbrough deal. I think you forgot to tell him that the group was reading the book.
Yeah,
that's where you start with the hook.
That's right.
Would you talk about what you're doing with the book, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, every Monday in our mastermind meeting, we read books and have book discussions. And for the last several months, we've been reading that particular book by Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. And so it's very enlightening. And so we literally are. He mentioned he had 600,000 sales, so we're one of those 600,000 sales to read that book, and for the members to put those things into use in their businesses and their lives.
And also too, Jimmy, I just want to remind you that, Marlon Smith was on our mastermind meeting, and if you recall, he called Dr. Dennis Kimbrough on the phone, and he did agree to be interviewed. I think the timing was kind of bad, as I think he just lost his wife.
Yeah, his wife just passed.
Yeah, so I will be following up with the Real Money Coach, which is a member of Every Dot Black. They asked me to kind of pause to see when he'll be ready. But definitely having that support from Mr. Green, it helps a whole lot as well.
Yes.
The secret to fundraising is you have to have some skin in the game. If we have money in the game, no matter what that amount is, we can say we made contributions, because when companies are looking to give away their philanthropic activities, they want to know what kind of skin is in the game. Who else in your community is supporting? I see Miss Shelley Skeen shaking your head.
Yes,
so that's what look, we're trying to put a foundation under this so we can fly this jet. That's what this is all about. And I'm very encouraged by the things that have been said already. Sam Tate's piece is a big one. He's on 75 radio stations. You know what that means? With gospel. Our people love gospel. So we have the ability through Mr. Tate, and he's been doing this. His birthday is today or tomorrow, the next day. When's your birthday, brother? Would you have a birthday coming up soon? You're on mute.
April 30th.
Right. I know him. He got a birthday coming up soon. We all got a birthday coming up soon, hopefully. But he has a following of his own at the very grassroots. So, Mr. Davies, I think today you've gotten just so far some big pieces of lumber to build this building with.
Absolutely.
And Jimmy, what about I didn't see the name on it. Yes, you might have it down there, but it was our guest speaker a couple of months ago. Heads a national security firm, Mr. Lance.
Oh, Lance Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be somebody maybe to contact because he knows a lot of celebrities and people in business and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, he does. With Lance Jones, it says a security firm. And when he was on our meeting, he was actually working, I just gotten off of working the security detail for our vice president, Kamala Harris.
If I may, Mr. Davis, please.
Yes.
Let me just reinforce, and we will, of course, speak more offline. But what Mr. Jones just brought up is very important. What I see in a lot of my nonprofit support for organizations when I'm standing them up, I call it startup stand up intentionally, is that skin in the game nowadays does indeed look like your social media numbers, and you've already represented that. And those social media numbers have weight and value to them. And I teach bukus of curriculums and courses on the value of social media. Your friends have a dollar figure, and there are other people that teach the same thing in marketing. And you've already shown that with the example of that tech, the gaming company podcast that you had circled there. Mm-hmm. There is weight there, and there is skin in the game. So you already have the weight there. We definitely added weight today. And in addition to that, of course, your radio and any newspaper influence there with your urban call. Thank you all so much for that. But that is true skin in the game, and that equates, as we know, and as Dr. Jones did indeed say, which is something I can help you with offline, because it's a whole other conversation, right? To talk about the crux of what a true 501, we get confused at C3s, and that's not the category you fall in. And to get that understanding and know that, which you do know, I'm sure, but to have the basis of that, a lot of people run from it when you don't have the proper person who operates in policy, procedure, and compliance to undergird that, because we can get in trouble. And with that, just to bring some, I want to just bring some assurance here, a little bit of assurance, rest assurance, like we say in the church, right? Some blessed assurance that my master's is in human resources, organizational management, and I am policy, procedures, and compliance with knowledge of the law. And again, whether I want to get out of this work or not, it continues to chase me down. And so with that, when the student is ready, the teacher shows up, they say, as a wise Chinese proverb. Is that correct?
Right.
And so with that, I am excited that Every Dot Black has shown up, and it is my pleasure to get with you all offline and help you bring that. Again, can be very discouraging, but when you're talking about 501 anything, people can run, unfortunately. But I'm here with bringing procedure and compliance to you as a skilled subject matter expert.
Okay. Yes, we definitely want to speak with you about that.
Hello, Mr. Davies.
Yes.
Just in listening to Ms. Skeen and I guess some of the other things, it just brought to mind, it's like I've actually met a young lady who is, I guess, a trained archivist in terms of preserving history. And I'm not sure if that would be a good contact for you.
Yes, it would be.
In the beauty industry. She's a beauty industry professional as well, but she has, I think it's a master's in library sciences, and archiving is her background and specialty. So I would
definitely want to speak to her.
Try to put you in touch with her.
But yes, we definitely want to, because we have been learning how this works on our own for the most part. Mm-hmm. And we've been calling around to different companies that can actually do preserve the documents and things like that. But we don't have anyone on our team per se that really knows that. So that would be huge.
Has a heart for it as well. Yeah. So that may be great. So thanks.
Mr. Davies.
Out to her.
Yes.
Stephen Middleton from South Carolina. As you may know, North Carolina State University has a public history program, and that could be a good resource to get students involved with this project to help out in preserving some of the material that you're finding.
Okay. Yeah, everything is being recorded, so everything that everyone is saying, we will be reaching out to each one of you for details on the things that you're offering to help with. But yes. Yeah, we could use help in all categories at this point. So yes. Anyone else have any comments or anything to share? Now, Ella sent me a text message, and I'm trying to bring that up. And I'm not sure.
While you do that, Mr. Davis, this is Eunice Dudley.
Okay, yes.
Just to let you know, I've been on the call the whole time, but I was distracted with something my daughter had to do while she was here before she takes a little trip. So I'm just getting in on the tail end of understanding all these wonderful ideas and suggestions and help that's been offered. And I'm sure I get a chance to find out more about it as time goes along. And I appreciate everyone that's working towards making this project a success.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Eunice Dudley.
Thank you, Mrs. Dudley, and I should say Dr. Dudley. And also, we realize too is that we will need to keep everyone updated. So we figured maybe once a month we will just have a meeting for those that can attend to just let people know how things are going. So I was looking at the calendar, like May 23rd, I think is the next, like about a month from now, just to let people know the progress we're making and what may be needed at that time, or just to let people know how things are going along. So keep people informed and engaged.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other? Oh, I was supposed to be looking up a message from Ella here. Ella sent me a message ask about Nido Queubin. Queubin.
Queubin. Nido
Queubin. Okay, Nido Queubin. Okay.
From High Point University.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Brown is the chairman of the trustee board here at High Point University.
They work hand in glove, Mr. Davies.
Okay.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I can let me work on that.
Okay.
And shape that up. Who sent you that text? Can she?
Ella Wilson, Mr. Dudley's assistant.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me work on that. Because I would let me just say it while we're here, because it's where we are in this time. What we have done here locally this year is Dr. Brown's last year on the board, and with that, I have made it my point to be very clear with him that everything that can be moved and led and driven by Black is why we have Every Dot Black now. And I don't know how more tactful I can say that. So let me work on that with Dr. Queubin if there is use, but I believe we have enough programs, as Mr. Stephen Middleton shared, that have Black students in programs, as well as other, fellow African Americans, as Ms. Wright brought up, that can give their heart, their passion, and their talent to this, I think, as first choice. So with that, let me consider how we can shape that and definitely put it on the list. But I think this would be more, I just think it'd be nice if we just continue to focus on as many subject matter experts, professionals, volunteers, and affiliates of sort to help in any way, if we can start with them being African American.
Okay.
All due respects to everyone on the line. I don't know who else on the line.
And what we want to do too, as soon as we get off the line, we're going to reach out to you to set up a time to talk.
Certainly.
So, any other, is there anyone else who'd like to share anything? I'm going to put something back up on the screen, and again, we're going to send you a copy of this entire document that I shared with you today. But also, I just wanted to put up on the screen our contact information if you don't have it, for my number and my sister's number and email address, and also Nellie helps with scheduling. And then the podcast subscription link and the donations link. And again, you'll receive an invite again for the next meeting. Like I said, we're just going to do this once a month to keep people engaged and let people know how this is going along. But then also, we'll be reaching out to those today that have some things to offer to help us with this project, each one of you. And then I encourage you to at least, at the very minimum, we can all be a subscriber to the podcast at patreon.com/Joe Dudley SR Senior. Well, unless there's anything that anyone else has to share, I'd like to just thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. I think.
Can I say something?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please.
So, hi, my name is Michelle Taylor. I'm one of the interviewers. I'm in Durham, North Carolina. And I just wanted to say what a thrill it has been for me to be one of the interviewers. The stories that we hear are so amazing, and we learn so much, and we're so encouraged by them. And so I just wanted to say it's not just for master stylists and people who are successful, it's so much for inspiring our youth. So if anybody has any connections with youth, just hearing the stories of people who come from nothing and how through a change of mind and Mr. Dudley's encouragement and encouraging them to read just really changed their life. I think it would be so beneficial for any young people in your circle, as well as, you know, struggling entrepreneurs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to put that out there.
And I agree with Michelle. I mean, I feel like every week we're listening to these amazing stories. I'm just learning so much from their lives and their stories, the things they overcame, and it's just amazing to me. And that's why the more I hear, it's like we've got to preserve this, and we've got to share it with others that maybe don't know that.
And you know something else, Jimmy, along with what you and Michelle are talking about, getting all this introduced to Black colleges, and maybe make it maybe not mandatory, but perhaps an extracurricular project they can work on. They can learn about the history of Dudley products and Mr. Dudley, as well as, like you said, encouraging them to say they can do it too. Look at what these other folks have done throughout the years. So.
And that's exactly why we're preserving it, because then it could be used in so many colleges, libraries, museums. I mean, but first of all, we've got to make sure it's documented. I did see Dr. Beverly, you've got your hand raised. You'd like to say something?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to say that I'm Dr. Beverly Allen, and I'm one of the interviewers also. And I just wanted to say to Jimmy and Kim how great it is that you all are so dedicated to this project, and the work that you all are putting in is phenomenal. And I'm sure Mr. Dudley really appreciates, not to be speaking for him, but I'm sure he really appreciates what you all are doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I need to get in there.
One of the things I want to remind you all, while that Mr. Dudley is the tip of the spear in the $7 billion category, the story of Dudley products is the story of 40 or 50 other Black-owned companies there are 125 to 145,000 Black stylists and barbers in America. The African-American consumer spends a little more than $7 billion in hair care products. These are vast industries. So while the focus is to get Mr. Dudley's piece in place, once you open the door to that, it will open the door to many, many Black entrepreneurs who Mr. Dudley has helped and who they have helped, in fact. A quick story, one night 40 years ago, Mr. Nathaniel Bronner, founder of Bronner Products, called me on the phone, and I was president of the Association of all the Beauty Care Companies, American Health and Beauty Aids Institute, and he said the following at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm just coming in, 4 o'clock in the morning, he says, there's a Black farmer in Georgia who's about to lose his farm and all of his equipment, and I want you to do something about it. I know nothing of farming. He says, call Cornell McBride. I did, M&M Products. He gave $50,000. I called the Dudley Products companies, they contributed. I called 10 companies. By 6 o'clock in the morning, we had $500,000 and saved his farm. Not only the land, but the equipment and so on. There is strength in our unity, but we can't all, you have to put the pieces and parts together. And with Miss, I'm pronouncing her name, Miss Shelley, is that correct? Who has brought to the table, she's sitting on the way to go forward, how to move this tip of the spear. I just want to remind you, while this is certainly about the Dudley Products and Dudley family, it's the tip of the spear. The background that comes behind this is a huge set of people, starting with Madam C.J. Walker, who have all been affected by this.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You're absolutely right. Well, at this time, like I said, unless anyone has anything else to share, we definitely have some homework to do with those that are offering. And we're just going to ask Kim if you can just close us out today.
Sure. Would everybody please bow their heads in prayer as we are going to pray for the things that we need. We're going to pray for everybody being on this call, and I just want to thank you. So in the name of Jesus, I just want to start out praying in the name of Jesus that we are so thankful for the people on this call, for the legend that we have the opportunity to preserve, for our community, for our children, for our, as history says, that it is very important that we take the time, and we are very willing to do this project. I thank God for this opportunity for you guys to be here. I thank God for all of the people that have made a difference in what we need, have stepped up and have decided that they are going to be on board with what we're trying to accomplish. We know that this is your project, Lord, that you have given us this opportunity to push forward in this project. And we just want to be thankful for all the suggestions, just for showing up, for all the people that participated, for Dr. Felicia for providing us with a message in song, for Miss Patricia Brown for just being here and telling us her testimony and how much the Dudley company, Mr. Dudley, has meant to her. So I just thank God for all the participants. I know that in your word, since we are dealing in your word, working in your works, that this is going to be successful. I claim success in this project in the name of Jesus. Amen. And please, everybody have a blessed day today, the rest of the afternoon. And thank you so much for sharing your afternoon with us with this very important project. And I'm just very emotional about it because, like everyone said, I've been impacted by just hearing the stories. They are so inspiring to hear the stories. It just brings chills to my ears and my mind and my heart that I'm able to be part of this great project. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't even thank you enough, but God knows our heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Excuse me. Well, we're just gonna, yes.
I want to thank you and all the rest of the participants for what you do. This is awesome, and I'm grateful. And it shows there's so many people that have worked extremely. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dudley.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And we're, like I said, we'll be sending everyone this along with all the links that you can use to share. If you have any questions on how to do any of it, we want to help you do it. So be looking for that email from us to give you even more instructions of what you can do and how to subscribe, how to share with others, and even how to go if you want to be interviewed for this project. We haven't been interviewed yet. Thank you. Well, I'm going to end it there. Feel like we've got a great start. So.
Excellent start. And God, I know that God was in the house tonight by all
yes,
your blessings.
ma'am.
Here
yes, ma'am.
in our meeting tonight. I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you that your mindset is here in this whole project, that you wanted to be here and you found the importance to find a way to be here. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we gotta support one another.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. So we can get it done. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
Well worth it. With you guys, we can get it done. I feel so assured now, don't you, Jimmy? I feel bad. I just feel like, wow. Wow.
And just off the bat, several people coming up with all of what they can offer, and then behind that, there's more that somebody else can offer. So that's just one meeting.
Yeah, and you know, and when you say what the people can offer, you know, it's not just about money. It's like the relationships you've established, the networks you're a part of, the influences you have, as Mr. Jones says, the chits you've collected, CHIT, the favors you've collected along the way. So spend them. This is worth it.
Yeah, and thank you to the Dudley family for being very supportive.
Yeah, and a special thank you also from Mrs. Dudley as well.
Yeah.
She gave a great interview. And just thank you. She's been supportive 100% as well.
I know it's like, I think it's something about everybody black media. No one wants to go. I think
I was thinking the same
Can you give
thing.
us something? I don't know what it is.
It's just savoring the moment, you know.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just I don't know. It's just a refreshing, positive energy when that energy falls, when that spirit, when the Holy Ghost is here. You're like, you don't want to let it go, right? The Holy Spirit is in the house.
Yeah, on the Monday nights we always close out with a song, and after the song, nobody leaves.
We're still here.
Yeah. So I guess that's what they want, Kim.
You gonna give them the song?
Give them the song.
You might throw a hint. Here comes that hint.
This is the song that we close out our mastermind meeting on Monday night with.
Yes, beautiful song.